On this episode, we are going to go into something that everyone wants to know how to do, and that is marketing. How the fuck do you even do marketing in the world of AI? Everything is changing so much. What we hope to do in this episode is tell you if we were going to build a marketing plan from scratch, this is exactly what we would do with all the plays and the actual AI tools we would use. That's what we're going to cover in this show.
I want everybody to know, first of all, it's been a little while since Kieran and I have even been together on a pod. Life has been wild. You and I talk to founders and CEOs and everything, honestly, most days. And we are getting this question like, how the hell do you even do marketing now? Everybody's like, this has changed. Like, what does my team look like? What strategies do I do? I'm not getting any traffic from Google. My ad prices are going up. What the heck do I do? And I think we just felt compelled, Kieran, to just try to take a few minutes, calm everybody down, give everybody some tactical, practical things that they can go do, things that we're doing, right? And that we're finding value from and getting more and more value from as we're learning them.
Did you see the Microsoft job report? It's gonna be
No,
lost
I
in what's
missed
not
that.
new. These are the jobs that Microsoft believe will be most impacted by AI. The reason I'm showing this is for all of the marketeers. You're not on the list. Top 40 occupations with the highest AI applicability score. And so
Interpreters and translators, that is rough.
historians, I guess, like
Historians, like people who study history.
it released two. It released another one with jobs that would
Yes.
be safe. These are the ones that are safe. So let's go through this. So yeah,
Yep.
these are the ones it released that are kind of safe. So I could be a massage therapist, right? That's going to be.
There's a new robot massage place in Boston.
Is there? Would
Yeah,
you let a robot massage you?
for sure I would.
Phew, that could be.
Look, one of the things, Kieran, that I think you and I are coming to right now is that if you're a marketer, your job's not like going away because of AI. And so you should like take a breath and feel a little bit of peace about that. But I think you and I also are seeing, and we believe that the best marketing in the world is going to be done with humans in partnership with AI, right? It's not going to be just AI, or it's not just going to be humans. The humans who are using AI, they're going to win the marketing results game.
The thing I took away from that list is there's not a lot of creative jobs on it, which is great. I know AI
Totally.
can do creative tasks, but one of the things to think about is what AI has already surpassed humans on and what has happened to those things. So let me give you a good example. I think it was like 20 years ago that where AI was first able to beat a human in chess.
Yes.
And so you would say, okay, well, AI has now surpassed human in chess. And so de facto, we probably would not want to do that anymore. And actually, chess has never been more popular. It's the most popular it has ever been. So the fact that AI was better than a human at that thing did not slow that craft down. I think there's a lot of examples of that where AI may surpass certain people in creative tasks, but people want the thing from the human, right? And I think that really matters for a lot of the content we create. I think we've talked about things moving towards personality-led content, where you really think about not just the content, but who's giving you that content. I think it's why we believe that most brands will have some sort of creator heart to their content team doing that content, which we have. But I think there's in a lot of cases, human creativity plus the AI assistant is where marketing will end up. And that's what we are going to show you here is like AI marketing playbook. If we were going to build a AI marketing playbook from scratch, we had to go into a company, we had to start today. What exactly would we do? And we're going to go through 6 things that would be part of that playbook.
And I would say this is a very abbreviated playbook, right? This is like the new list of the first new things we would start doing, right? Like we'll have more comprehensive stuff in the future, but this is like if you're just like, hey, I want to go from the old way of doing marketing to a newer way of doing marketing that's going to be more effective in this new AI world. Here are the right places to start, right? And the stuff to start learning and the stuff to start having tools to help you around, right?
So I did a lovely graphic. I was up late last night. I was trying to get ChatGPT Image Gen to do this. I could not do it, so I reverted to Canva. But all right, the first thing is non-controversial. It is AI search. It is something that we have made a big bet on. I think you want to grow share of voice in LLMs. We can talk about the fact that this is share of voice and not conversions, which is a whole thing people are struggling
It's
with.
a whole bag of worms.
We can tell you some things. We had Asia on this show. You should go back and watch that show around how to do AI search. We talked about LLM optimized niche pages. So instead of having one product page that's optimized for like 3 to 5 keywords, which is the old Google search way, you conversate with an AI assistant. So you ask lots of questions in different ways. And so instead of having one product page, you actually need to have lots of variations of your product page for all of the ways that people can ask questions about that. And I think that's one of the things that we found works pretty well. That and the citations.
Yeah, when you say citations, Karen, can you just maybe, while we're talking about AI search, because many people watch this are probably hearing about it for the first time. What the heck is share of voice? What is a citation? And what's the real business value of AI search? Maybe just touch on those three things for us.
So this is great. So share of voice would be music to all brand marketers' ears that we have a performance marketing channel now being measured against a brand metric. So they now performance marketers will have to deal with the CFO asking, hey, like, is this actually having any impact? But share of voice is basically how many times is your product given in an answer to a query related to your product or service. So basically what you do in these tools is I will go in and I will say, okay, for our CRM, we're going to upload 100 different questions that people may ask that should trigger an answer that includes our product. And then we would say out of those 100, how many times did we appear versus our competitors? And that's some way to get towards your share of voice. So it really is how visible am I for the questions that I care about.
Okay, so that's share of voice. What are citations?
And then citations are, is your brand or service, product or service, mentioned with the key phrases in that question that you want to appear for, right? So citations are for us, how many times did our CRM get mentioned alongside great for small businesses? Or how many times did our CRM get mentioned along great enterprise features for large companies? And so you want to really care about citations. Am I getting mentioned in trusted sources for the things that I want to be known for in the LLMs? So when someone's asking questions about these things, there's enough co-citations about your product, which means that you get mentioned with those words in lots of different sources. And the LLM goes, oh, cool, I know HubSpot's a great answer for that. HubSpot CRM is a great answer for that because I've seen it in so many different places mentioned for a great CRM for small businesses. And the thing to think about there is these LLMs like OpenAI, Gemini, Claude actually have certain preferences for which sites they trust more than others. It's not like Google, where Google owned all of the kind of search queries and they basically looked at links and domain authority. These LLMs really have partnerships with different sites and relationships with different sites. So they trust different sites more than the others, right? And I think that's an important thing to know is whatever LLM you are trying to appear in, you should really find out what are their most trusted sources to understand if your product or service should appear in the answer. And I think this is a wild stat here that like by 2027, it is estimated that 95% of all B2B buyer journeys will start on an LLM. So this is why you want to make that bet today.
Yeah, I think that you have no choice but to make a bet to focus on search in an AI first world. It doesn't mean you completely abandon traditional Google search, right? But you have to start moving some of your time and effort to this new evolving way that search is happening.
And if you want everything we shared in the episode, including the graphic, you can just click the link in the comments in the description or scan the QR code. So the tools here, you have a tool called Xfunnel. And so what Xfunnel will allow you to do is show your visibility in these LLMs. So all the different LLMs, you can see how visible you are. You can see your share of voice. You can see how the things that you're doing are increasing your share of voice over time. A really great tool. We're a customer. There's one called usebear.ai that I caught up with the founders very recently. It's a very, very cool tool. This should be used, not user. Again, very similar to Xfunnel. They have a couple of differentiations that they can do. One of the things I find fascinating is one of the things they do is they take a snapshot of the answer every day to a certain query. And what you can see is how often the LLMs change their answer, like just subtly, but they're never giving back the same answer each and every time, which I think is super important. These query mapping LLMs, this is basically you can fine tune ChatGPT and Claude to actually help create these LLM optimized niche pages. And so they are the tools that can really help you do AI search. All right, let us get into master short form content. So I think this stat is wild. 65% of B2B buyers prefer short form content to learn about products or services. What you would really think about as a metric for B2C, right? You would normally not associate this with B2B. And so I think a big part of this is how you can grow influence in text and video using AI. And so I want to go through a quick example of what I have been building in VO3 to show you how cool these tools are. And it is a opener to an incredible up and coming movie called A Timeless Marketer. Bring it up.
Just so everyone knows, Kieran's in love with AI video tools. They're his favorite
I think I
in
would.
the whole world right now.
If I could just go and do this full time, I actually would right now. It's like bringing all my wildest dreams to life. All right, so what I will say is VO3 is a Google tool, a video tool that allows you to create 8-second clips. And so I'm going to actually tell you how I managed to create a 24-second clip. I'm actually trying to get a 5-minute mini movie together because there's a lot I've learned here about using VO3 over the last week, but let's play.
Okay, these magazine things
I just want to show you the amazing. Okay, it's not perfect in every way. Look at the way he gets out.
I love how he just jumps through the car door, man.
absolutely blowing up. People are reading paper now, apparently. Time to figure out how to make them notice my ads in this paper brick. All right, they call this copywriting.
Now, I want to show how good. Look how the big thing here is figuring out how to keep the character consistent across clips is not easy. That was one of the things I really figured out. Okay, so it's obviously going to be marketing throughout time, but how freaking good is this? Like VO3, it's so good.
I think people need to understand is like you just typed text in and it generated these videos and you edited the videos together.
And so there's like, so we will do a whole episode of VO3 because I'll do a 5-minute and I'll tell you everything I learned, but like you have to actually build character prompts. That's how I've done that. So I build a detailed character prompt. And then every time you create a new video, you insert the character prompts. So you can build basically a prompt library of characters who appear in the movie. And then anytime you want them to appear in a scene, you would just like add that prompt. So there's a bunch of like insanely cool shit you can do. But that's why I think like for me, short form content is probably the thing that I'm going to spend all of my time on. Because I think it's how the internet is going to work. Because you not think that like we're being taught as internet users to just consume short form content over anything?
I would reframe it just a smidge. I think tomorrow we're recording with Alan Go, who is the founder of Willow, which is like a voice AI app, Kieran. And I had a whole conversation with him and he was talking about, you know, how voice is really good for like dictation and creating stuff. It's really bad and slow at consuming stuff. And I think what the internet's going to move to is you are going to be in the perfect modality to get the information as clearly and as quickly as possible. Whether that's text, whether that's voice, whether that's video, what have you, right? And because that before voice and video were so much more expensive than text, we just use text for most things. And now we're going to play a big rebalancing and you're going to see a huge growth in voice and a huge growth in video, especially short form video. So when you say that's how the internet's going to work, I kind of think of it as like, yeah, the internet's going to get like fully optimized. And for the internet to be fully optimized, there's going to need to be a lot more video, both short, mid, and long form video.
Right. Yeah, I do think if you can master short form video, you can master like attention grabbing. And mastering attention grabbing, actually, even if you're going to do long form, is a pretty great skill to learn because what's going to happen, right? Like every platform is being crushed under the weight of AI generated content, and so the ability to acquire the first second of someone's attention where they stop to scroll is probably going to be like the number one skill that anyone can actually master. Because if you can't do that, you can't get them to consume anything. And so that's why I had here like master written hooks and short form storytelling to kind of capture that intention. I had LinkedIn, X, YouTube, but really all platforms can work for short form.
Yeah, your argument is like, look, the Don Draper of 2025 for Mad Men fans would be just obsessing about being the best hook writer for short form videos of all time.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly. They would just obsess over the first 60 seconds of any asset, whether you're reading that asset, listening to that asset, or watching that asset. And I think short form content is a great way to master that skill set. The tools I put down here was VO3, which is awesome. There is a tool called Flow, and Flow actually is built on top of the VO models. And what it allows you to do is start to create real like movies. You can actually start to create scenes. Unfortunately for me, I don't know what it's like in the US. That tool is still on VO2 when you want to add multiple scenes, but you could just go in and use VO3 in Gemini if you can't use Flow. Captions Mirage, which we had the founder on, that is a really cool tool. I thought I was
Very
blown
cool.
away by how great that tool was. So this allows you to create great short form video. And then if you're doing text-based, we probably will do an episode on this. I started working on a episode for Claude where you can basically create a write-in app within Claude fine-tuned to your own styles. That's really great at hooks.
I think we should do a show just on like short form hooks and like building
Yeah,
a project or an agent to do short form hooks and do just a whole show on that.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you're doing your AI search. Now you're mastering short form content. These code-powered experiences I covered in another episode. We have covered a bunch of this in singular
You and I
episodes.
both have done a code power
Yeah.
experienced show. You can search for lead magnet. It was my episode where I go through and show Claude artifacts on how to basically build lead magnets. But really what you're talking about here, Kieran, I think, is that people used to give away blog articles and white papers, and now you can just have an LLM do all that for you. So you need to give away, instead of information, action. And the best way to do
Yes.
that is some type of really lightweight, free, code-driven application. And like the best example that I did like this whole fictional landscaping company. And so it was like a budget estimator, a curbside appeal grader, things that somebody who was thinking about redoing their landscaping would care about, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like again, I've pulled in the why here. 70% of B2B buyers prefer self-serve tools and interactive content. You did a great episode to show how you could move from like content lead magnets to code lead magnets. But really, marketers used to create content because it was way too hard to create code. And
Correct.
now it's like as easy to create code. I know developers will hate me saying that, but for the things that marketers want to build that are like lightweight things, it's as easy to create code powered experiences as it is content powered experiences. And I think that is a huge change in how we're going to market to audiences. One quick idea I had in a video that I put out around this for Replit was that very thing that you built. Shouldn't Replit just have a library of drag and drop elements that allow people to create all those kind of lead magnets? That's how you acquire
100%,
marketers.
and just all the basic front end and back end components that you can remix into like a
Exactly.
market specific little web app for sure.
Exactly. The next is you have to have a great intent engine that is going to power all of your AI experiences. And that's really, really important. So your intent engine is really how you get your internal and external intent signals around your ideal customer profile. So your ideal customer profile is who are the audience that is going to actually buy your product, buy your services. There is more intent signals than ever before now because we have so many great tools that can go and scrape external signals or gather internal signals. The kind of power of everything else you build around in AI is going to be powered off this really incredible intent engine. And again, we see this actually working. So 93% of B2B marketers who have tried to create experience around intent signals see a huge increase. Intent signals are things like they would suggest that you are a good person to connect with. So an example of an external intent signal would be you change jobs, right? And when you change jobs, that's a good signal that you can market to that person and market your tool. They may get promoted. An external intent signal, maybe a startup gets a funding round. They are very specific to your niche. And then internal signals are that person is showing intent that they are interested in purchasing your product.
So this, I think, is the most advanced concept that you are sharing with everybody today. And what you're really saying here is that in an AI world, context matters, right? And we say that on no matter what we're doing with AI, it's all about, oh, do we have the context of who we're talking to, how to do this thing? And one of the things you need context on is not just who you're talking to, but what can you know about them? And what can you know about them that really matters to them so that when you engage with them, you can reference that and connect with them on that, or even set the timing of your message around that. To really transform and get really different results in your marketing, you need to transform how you time and personalize your messaging. And you can't do that without really good intent data. And Kieran, maybe you could give everybody a couple specific like types of like data fields that would be really good emblematic examples of what people would be doing here.
Actually, like hiring is one of the examples I showed. I did a quick video for everyone on our channel around how to build this thing, which we're going to get into, called micro audience marketing. And mine was really based upon small audiences who are hiring. So looking at companies and who are hiring job profiles that would be suitable for HubSpot. That the fact that the executive or team member on LinkedIn could change their job, this is a signal of budget shift. There's a bunch of like firmographic changes, new product launches, investment would be one. So like a common one companies use is that they just raise, because in just raise, they
Exactly.
were looking to upgrade their tech stack. You can get a bunch of like data from these third-party sites. So are they viewing certain product pages, like all of those kind of good things. You can get, again, on third-party sites, you can get search signals. Are they increasing? Is there like an increase in search on some of the sites like Stack Overflow, Hacker News? But these external signals that would say, hey, they're in the market and researching something that is relatable to my product. And so they're kind of examples of external signals. Internal signals are very unique to your business. So they maybe someone visited a certain page on your website, someone is viewing your pricing page. If you have a freemium product, someone has taken certain actions within the freemium product. And what you really, the word you used is the right word, right? Like the more context I can gather, the more personalized and I can make my AI experiences. And actually, the more context the AI experience has, the better job it can do. And so that context
Exactly.
layer, which is your intent engine, is going to be do or die for having an incredible an incredible AI powered marketing machine.
Kieran, I think I have an action item here that would be good. You can tell me if you agree with this. Let me pitch it to you and to the audience. So, if you don't have a lot of intent data or you're just kind of getting started here, you're like, okay, cool. Well, like, what data do I need and where am I going to get it? Right. And Kieran, you even here are like, there's data all over the place. It kind of
Yeah,
depends on who you're
everywhere.
talking to and your market and your industry and your region, all those things. Well, at HubSpot, we have our connector with ChatGPT, as well as we just launched Claude this past week. And I think, Kieran, I would go in and I would do a prompt for ChatGPT or Claude and say, look at my, sales and marketing data and ask me and tell me what other types of data signals would help improve my results. And then I'd
Yes.
have it
Yeah.
return those
Yeah.
results.
I love
And then
that.
I'd have it do a deep research project of the best ways and vendors to get that data,
Yes. That's
right?
awesome. So you use the HubSpot
Wouldn't that work?
connectors to ChatGPT and Claude. You ask it for how can I enrich, what are the improvements I can make to enrich these personas, like what data? And
Yes,
then you take that and you do a deep research project and you say, what are the best sources to get this data?
correct.
That is a great way to start. I think people
I
should
think
go do that.
I think like 10 to 15 minutes, you would have a few vendors that you could go and talk to and probably instantly make your data better. Obviously, we have some data in HubSpot. There's a bunch of different amazing data vendors out there, but I think that process would get you what you needed to know.
Yeah. I would say that a lot of the interesting, so there's a lot of interesting external data is you can just get through something like Perplexity.
Yes.
There is a big difference in what Perplexity will give you via the API versus what you will get via the chat interface. So just keep that in mind. All right. So this would be music to marketers' ears, because I think one of the things that will happen is marketing will actually help our friends out in sales and start to eat up more of the customer journey. Not as in take their roles, but actually allow sales to get back to what they probably would love to do, which is selling. The average
It's
rep
wild.
spends 28% to 33% of their time
Shouldn't
selling.
they be spending like 80% of their time
Yeah,
selling?
like I'm sure a rep would love to spend 80% because they would make way more money.
Way more money. Literally
And so
3x more money.
yeah, 3x more money, right? And we all know sales reps, they like to make money. So why is this happening? They have to do a bunch of sales admin. And so one of the things they actually have to do is build pipeline. And to build pipeline, they have to do prospecting. Prospecting is a lot of what a rep has to do, whether you're doing it through these different roles, SDRs, BDRs, or just a sales rep themselves. And I do think there is a world where this becomes part of the marketing engine, because marketing are able to automate all of this. Well, the text-based portion, they can automate all via AI. We have done that in HubSpot and to great results. But they can also then start to use AI to create a call script, again, using your context layer. So you have a great call script for the rep. and you can start to actually do most of this work for the rep. Now, obviously, the rep is still going to call the person, but everything else you can kind of automate there.
Yeah. Every company I talk to, they want more sales productivity. And one of the ways to get more sales productivity is to give your reps more time selling and less time admin, do it writing emails, doing all the stuff that the reps can do very well, but maybe like to do less. Right. And then, Kieran, I think the point we should make here is that the whole buyer's journey is kind of getting shifted, right? The buyers have access to way more information. And because of that, like, they need marketers and sellers a little less. And so everything that's happening is kind of getting shifted around. And one of the things that's happening is that marketing is taking more of what may have been thought of the early sales process previously. But we think that's a big economic upside because it's going to mean that your salespeople at the end of the day are going to be much more productive.
Right. I agree. Like marketing are really the automation team in a lot of cases. A lot of the stuff that they can start to do is automate out all of the things that some of these other teams have got tasked to do, but actually then they could be freed up to get back to selling. And it's great for the company because if you have a team implement this and their reps can sell for 60% of the team, it's like you've doubled the size of your sales team. Like that's incredible, right? Like you're literally doubling the size of your sales team because you're getting half of their time or like more than half of their time back. All right, the last one is micro audience campaigns. What is this? All right, so we should start with the stat here that targeted campaigns will increase your click-through rate by 209% and conversions by 3 to 5x. So targeted campaigns is a way that you can really increase your results as a marketing team. Forever, we have done like segment level marketing, right? So we have firmographic and demographic data. Then we build these kind of groups of people that are all like each other, kind of like loosely like each other. And then we market to them because that's just the way that we have tools, the ways that tools work today. What AI is going to allow you to do is market to like small slices of your audience because AI is going to do most of the work. So instead of marketing to 300,000 people, you may market to like 3,000 people who you've condensed down into these small groups based upon all of that context. The more context you have, the smaller you can make those groups, and then the more contextual your marketing campaigns can be. And I think this is a big, big, big thing in terms of the future of marketing. I think this is a big change that will happen. We're doing a bunch of this now in HubSpot, trying to work through the different concepts. And I suspect that when you add up all those 3,000 person campaigns in totality, the conversion rate is going to be way, way greater than just marketing to the 300,000 people from the outset.
Well, I think this is one of the most transformational points in marketing right now, Kieran. And what we kind of alluded to throughout this show is that the cost of doing marketing is going down, like the cost to write something, the cost to create a video, the cost to do research, the cost to get data. All of those things are like kind of flat to down. And what's great about that, Kieran, is that you can do more marketing for the same amount of money. And so I think there was this sentiment in the early days of AI that, oh, like we're just going to cut marketing teams and budgets and all of this stuff. It's like, no, we're going to have those people and have that money accomplish much more. Instead of maybe spending $300,000 to do a big brand shoot, I might spend, that gives me a couple of ads. I might spend $300,000 to get 3,000 ads that I can do 3,000 micro campaigns with influencers and niche markets and all of those things and get double the revenue out of that, right?
And so I think the way this works, again, is you use these intent signals to split that ideal customer profile into micro audiences. So nothing, again, works unless you can build this intent engine. And then because of that, you have these AI-powered agents helping you create these campaigns. Now, if you had a marketing team having to do this and you had to have a marketing team set up all these different campaigns for small groups of people, it doesn't scale because the size of your marketing team would probably outweigh the number of customers you have. But because we're going to infuse AI, so AI is going to be able to craft the email, AI can craft the ad, AI can set up the campaign. And what the human's going to do is orchestrate the AI based around these micro audiences to really provide a ton of value. The tools here are LLMs, Perplexity Labs. I love this tool. You love this tool. You just did a whole episode on their new browser Comet, which you have.
I'm a huge
I
Comet
don't have.
user.
The only thing I've
You're
ever
not
got
using
at the same
Comet
time,
yet?
I can't. Oh, shit, I
Why?
can. You told me how to do it. Oh, sorry, I haven't upgraded.
Come on,
That's why I
man.
haven't got it.
I need you to use it real bad. I
Yeah,
need
I'll
your
use it. I'll
review.
use it. I use it. I was excited that I did the episode of ChatGPT Agent because I got that the same time as everyone else. It's the first time I felt like a proper human in a civilized world where I got a tool the same time as other people got a tool. I will upgrade to Comment actually tonight. I forgot I do have
Please.
access to that. I need to upgrade. I'm on the pro plan. I need to get on the I'm
Max.
on just the most expensive plan of everything now.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Oh, yeah.
literally all of these
My
tools
AI
I have, by
cogs
the
are
way.
high.
Yeah, I have all of these tools. And then you can like agent, whatever your agent platform of choice is. We have a platform called agent.ai, which is a great a platform you can build some agents.
Okay, let's go top to bottom. Kieran, let's go top to bottom. The tool quick hit for everybody. I know people are going to be like, well, cool, I'm buying what you're telling me to do. Where do I go to get started doing this? So like give
Okay.
everybody a quick tool summary.
Here's your tool set that you can go start to use for some of these. You can use, so for AI search, you want to grab yourself one of these tools that allow you to see visibility within the LLMs. You can get an X-funnel, you can get a use bear. There's some others you can go use. You want to get really good at using ChatGPT and Claude and these things to actually fine tune on your product pages and create niche product pages for you around relevant questions. If you don't know how to do that, go look at the episode we did with Asia. Master short form content. You want to really get great at VO3. We'll have a whole episode coming at you, and I do my little 5-minute movie. I will demo it on the show, and then I would tell you everything I've learned about prompting for VO3. You can use Captions Mirage, and then you can fine tune these LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, to be a great writing partner. We're going to show you how to do that in a future episode. Code powered experiences. There's lots of great tools. I love Claude Code. Lovable, Replit. We have agent.ai to build the agents. And so you can build agents and give them away to acquire demand. Lots of cool stuff here. Kipp give the thing you should do. You should go connect your HubSpot connectors, pull the data, and then run deep research to figure out what are the best data sources for your specific intent signals, because there's a wide variety of things you can get. AI sales prospect, and we are doing this, right? So we are doing it via HubSpot. We have our intent data built up here. If you want to run some personalized video as part of your prospecting and try that out, the new HeyGen model is incredible. Go do that. And then your micro audience campaigns, again, you have your intent engine. You may want to do some Perplexity Lab stuff, which I did to like categorize my audiences in cool, novel ways. Generally, just being able to do great stuff with LLMs like Grok, Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity. They can actually help you segment and cohort that audience in interesting ways. So these are some of the tools that will allow you to run your AI marketing playbook. And if we were starting from scratch, going into a startup today, going into a company today, these are the things that I would prioritize.
All right. And I know we covered a lot of ground and we've done a lot of shows on some of these topics. Kieran gave us a really good overview. We've created a playlist with all of the shows relevant to today's episode. We're going to link it down in the comments below. And so if you just want to go on a full deep AI marketing deep dive, you're just going to want to watch every video on that playlist, and we should answer all of your questions that you would have from today's show. All right, everybody, that was a deep dive in some of the latest and greatest in AI marketing tactics. If you're starting to do those, then you are going to be at the leading edge of the AI marketing curve. We'll be back with way more shows on these topics and other new ones over the rest of the year. We'll see you real soon on Marketing Against the Grain.
This data is wrong every freaking time.
Have you heard of HubSpot? HubSpot is a CRM platform where everything is fully integrated.
Whoa, I can see the client's whole history, calls, support tickets, emails, and here's a task from 3 days ago I totally missed.
HubSpot, grow better.